Hello class. In this video, we are going to write a GUI program named MakeChangeGUI that calculates and displays the conversion of an entered number of dollars into currency denominations of 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s. For example, 113 is 5 20s, 110, 0 5s, and 3 1s. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up Visual Studio. We're going to create a new project. We're going to select a Windows Forms app. We're going to name this project Make Change GUI. We're going to click Next and Create. Okay, so here we're going to need a text box. We'll put it right there. That's where our user is going to enter in the total amount of dollars. We're going to get a label to let our user know what they're supposed to do. So I'm going to click on this label. And I'm going to go down here to where it says text, where it says label 1. I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to tell my user to enter the total amount of dollars here. I'm going to drag this text box right there next to it. And I'm going to get a button. I'm going to drag the button over. And I'm going to relabel the button. Instead of button 1, it's going to say calculate or make change. Let's do make change. And I'm going to resize my button so it shows the entire make change thing. There we go. So we're going to enter the total amount of money. I'm going to say make change, and I'm going to have a couple labels here. Let's go label crazy. Let's make some labels. We're going to have a label for 20s. We're going to have a label for 10s. We're going to have a label for 5s. And we're going to have another label for 1s. I'm going to rearrange these labels, get them all kind of lined up well with each other. There we go. And I'm going to create some more labels at the bottom of those. And instead of label 6, I'm just going to call it output. And I'm going to copy and paste that a few more times under the correct ones. So I did it in order. So output, that's label 6 under the 20s. Label 7 is under the 10s. Label 8 is under the 5s. And label 9 is under the 1s. So now that we have all of our items in order, let's go ahead and double click on this button so we can get to our code. So when we click on the button, the code will fire off. So what we need to do is we need to look at our text box and get the total amount of money, total amount of dollars that our user is giving us. So we're going to have an int, and this is going to be total dollars. And that is going to equal, and we have to make sure that it is integer data and not string data. So we're going to convert dot to int 32, and the argument we're going to give that is our text box. Text box, oh, box has a capital B. Text box 1 dot text. So this is our line for taking the information our user gives us, creating a variable called total dollars. It's going to be integer data type, and we're going to use that to figure out how many 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s we have. So what we can do is we can use our constant variables. We're going to have a constant variable for 20, and I'm going to say 20. Sorry, constant int variable for 20s. We're going to have a constant integer variable for 10s, and that's going to equal 10. We're going to have a constant integer variable for 5, and that's going to equal 5. And we do not need the 1 for 1, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So we're going to have a integer for 20s. Now realize that this is not the same as that one. We're going to have a different variable for the total amount of $20 bills we have. This one is just our denomination of 20. So 20s, the number of 20s we have is going to be the total dollars, and we're going to divide by 20. Now what this does is it takes the total amount of dollars and it divides, but it only gives us the quotient and not the remainder. And we're going to divide by 20, which is the number 20. So that's going to give us how many $20 bills we have. Well, then we're going to take our dollars, our total dollars, we're going to reassign this variable a different value now because we've already taken the 20s out. So what we have to do now is we have to take the total dollars, we have to divide by 20, but we're dividing using the modulus, which is going to give us the remainder. So total dollars after this should not reach any larger than 19. Should be 19 and under. And we're going to kind of repeat these same steps. So we're going to have an integer for the tens now, and the amount of $10 bills is going to go into total dollars divided by 10. And this should only be 1. The amount of tens should only be 1 max and 0 min. And we're going to take our total dollars. Now that we've taken all the tens out of our leftover total dollars, we're going to reassign that value one more time. Total dollars is going to equal the previous total dollars amount, divide modulus by 10. That's going to give us the remainder after we divide by 10. And we're going to do the same thing with the fives. We're going to have an int fives is going to equal the total dollars that we now have divided by 5. And now we're not going to go back into total dollars because we need the ones now. That's why we didn't put ones up here. So we're going to have an integer for ones, and is going to equal the total dollars that we have divide with the modulus by 5. Okay, so now we have our 5s, 10s, 20s, and our 1s. So what we can do now is we can tell our user our change in our different outputs. So what I'm going to do now is just under output, under this label, label number 6, we're just going to put the number of 20s. Label number 7 is going to be the number of 10s. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to change label 6, sorry, lowercase, label 6 dot text is going to equal, and I'm just going to put 20s. Notice that 20s has a red squiggle under there. The reason it has a red squiggle is because the text box is looking for string data. So we have to convert it back to string data. So I'm going to go 20s dot to string, open and close parentheses. I'm going to do the same thing with label 7 dot text, but this time is going to be the tens dot to string. And then label 8 dot text is going to equal the fives dot to string. And then we're going to, oh, I misspelled label. And then label 9 dot text is going to equal the ones dot to string. And again, I don't need a capital here, I need a lowercase. Names have to be precise. And this should do it. So let's go ahead and run our program. So if I put, I believe it's $36, I should get a 1 in everything. 1, 1, 1, 1. If I do just 20, make change, that's 0. If I do just 10, it should be 110. If I do 5, it should be 5. And if I do 1, it should be a 1. So let's do a random number, make change, another random number, make change. So the 10s, the 5s, these two should never be over 1. The 1s should never be over 4. All right. Let me know if you have any questions with this exercise. And you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.